Today, I will discuss creating the artificial minds. It's very, very aggressive challenge. It's a big challenge of the cognitive developmental robotics that we are aiming at the understanding of the human cognitive and affective developmental process based on the physical body, environment, and also the social interaction. It's a big challenge. So by the way, after the lunch, I suppose maybe you get sleepy. So my current challenge is I try to keep you wake up during my talk. Okay. So as you know, the human minds are very, very rich in the cognitive and affective functions based on the physical body, environment, and the social interaction. It's very, very big challenge. And among the many functions, today I focus on the three topics, three issues. First one is self-consciousness. The second one is language communication. And the third one is empathy. As you know, these three functions still very, very high, very, very high level functions. Therefore, almost difficult to realize, to design. Therefore, we go back to the very, very early stages of these functions. In case of the self-consciousness, we focus on the self-based cognition. What kind of the structure my face is, like this one. And in the second topic, the language communication. Now the ChatGPT is a very, very big social impact. But in case of the language communication in the human beings, at the early stage, it's the vocal imitation between the caregiver and or the infant. And the third one, empathy, is a very, very important function for the human beings. And to realize the empathetic capability, we need some, the development of the emotion itself. Today, I focus on these three issues. Okay, at the beginning, I'll show these video clips. Nowadays, the current technology of the stereo ultrasound scanning enable us to observe the movement of the fetus. Actually, the 14 weeks, 26 weeks, and 36 weeks. So the size is quite different. 14 weeks, very, very, very small, like this one. Okay, and 14 weeks, you can see that the movement of the fetus. And around this age, these weeks, the already tactile sensation started. At the 26 weeks, vision and auditory working. And 36 weeks, just 4 weeks before the birth, open the eye, open the mouth, and sucking. So many years ago, people believe that the newborn baby, the baby born without anything. But it's not true. Before the birth, something already happened before the birth, okay? So the first topic, I focus on the neonatal imitation. That's a very famous finding in the developmental psychology. So newborn baby, around 2 or 3 weeks, they imitate the adult's facial expression, the lip movement and mouth movement. It's a big, big mystery. So the question is that this is innate or learning. So if you say innate, another question happens, how to design, how to embed it. So therefore, all the time, we try to explain by the learning method, okay? So in this case, we integrate the visual information, the tactile information, and the proprioceptive information, just the movement of the joint angles. So this shows, okay, so the video clip is the same as at 26 weeks, okay? So as I explained, already touch sensation and the vision and auditory started. So we suppose that the newborn baby, they do not know the structure of the face. So therefore, tactile sensation is randomly distributed. But during the learning process, that is touching again and again and again. So finally, so even though very, very rough position, but the two eyes, nose, and the mouth that happened are the defined, the extracted. Therefore, the fetus obtained some face structure its own. Of course, this is not fully explain the neonatal imitation, but at least there is some potential before the birth. The fetus may have its own facial structure, recognize the facial structure. Okay. The second topic is language communication and vocal imitations. So the left figure shows the formant space of the Japanese vowels. Formant is some frequency of the resonant frequency of the inside the vocal tract. So the first peak of the frequency, first peak of the resonant frequency corresponds to the first formant, this x-axis, and the second peak of the frequency of the second peak corresponds to the second formant, that's the vertical axis. Then you can see the Japanese vowel a, I, U, E, like this one. And around the center, you can see some yellow regions. That's a noise? No. That's the voice of the robots. Maybe the infant too. So the question is how infant can obtain the Japanese vowel beyond the difference of the acoustic property. The sound is not similar to each other. So look at the real situation in the interaction between the mother and the baby. The mother became very happy if the baby imitates the mother's voice. On the other hand, baby becomes happy when the mother imitates the baby's voice. So mutual imitation, happy each other. And this increases the frequency of some vocalization, the practice. So we set up this situation and we designed the BAPI, the vocal robot. So the vocal robot generates some random voice. So in case of the baby, the 3-month baby, just say the practice of the vocalization. Just we say cooing, coo, like this one. So the robot generated the random voice. And if the caregiver, the experimenter, can interpret the voice of the robot as one of the Japanese vowel, then the caregiver respond to the corresponding Japanese vowel to the robot. So okay, can you hear? Are you there? It's okay? But it's not the baby voice. It's just a voice after karaoke too much. So we changed, and the real one, more realistic one. The second one is Japanese, yeah. In English, no. But actually, E-R. Okay? So when the caregiver teaching the response to the robot, there are many variations of for example, because the random voice of the robot is also the variation. Therefore, not so clear pronunciation of the Japanese vowel Therefore, we introduce some constraint of the energy minimization. That is not so deformed of the vocal tract, not deformed, minimize the deformation of the vocal tract. And also the lip shape. So visually, the infant imitates the lip shape too. And finally, we got one more. Now it's okay? It's a baby voice? Okay. Of course, this is only the vowels. Therefore, the next challenge is consonant. The consonant is much more difficult, big challenge. We partially implemented this kind of robot. So next time, I'd like to show the fully imitated vocal robot. Okay. One more. Okay. So next topic is empathy. So to realize empathic capability, we need some development of the emotion itself. So this indicates some situation in the developmental psychology. So if the baby falling down and crying, So the mother automatically mimic the facial expression of the baby. Oh, the baby, crying baby like this one. This is called intuitive parenting. So the mother automatically mimic the facial expression of the baby. So we applied this idea to the baby robot, the emotion development of the baby robot. So through the intuitive parenting, at the beginning, the baby robot has only two emotional states, pleasure and displeasure. But mother shows very different facial expressions, so many. Then gradually, emotional space of the baby robot separated, such as anger, happiness, surprise, and so on. Actually, as a result, two-dimensional emotional space happened. That's the very famous Russell 2D emotional space. So after the learning, so we can, we just show the imitation of the, not the facial expression, but some emotional state of the mother. So the caregiver, actually is my former student, shows different, now they very get anger face, right, like this one. And then the baby robot changed his or her mind to the neutral space, neutral state to the angry space. Okay, so don't use this robot in front of your angry boss. Yeah, your boss will get much anger. Okay, and then okay, so far we touched the three issues: the self-consciousness, the self-face cognition, and the language communication, the vocal imitation, and the empathy and the emotion development. But I need touch this issue because the title of my talk is Creating Artificial Mind. Therefore, I need to touch the theory of mind. The theory of mind explains that the human beings can understand the others' beliefs, understanding intentions, and so on. To realize this theory of mind, one issue is perspective taking. The perspective taking is that you can stand the viewpoint of others, so that you can replace your viewpoint into the others. So to realize this perspective taking, one interesting finding in the neuroscience is mirror neurons. The mirror neuron is a neuron inside of the brain. The first found in the monkey brain. Okay, so monkey, for example, pick up something. So the pickup neuron fired. Okay, and the same neuron also fired when this monkey observes the other monkey or other experimenter pick up this one. That is, so this neuron code their action execution and action observation. Therefore, this leads to some, the understanding of the others' actions or others' the intention of the, others' action and so on. So we developed, system of the mirror neuron development system for the case of the robot task, grasping, pushing, and so on. So in the left side, the input is a visual image sequence of the self-movement. Okay, the robot observes its own movement. Okay, so the video image, and also the joint angle sequence of the movement. So the first part is just the feature extraction or the data compression based on most advanced AI technology, just a deep learning method. So the visual image sequence has some representation of the visual image, and the joint angle has its own future space of the joint angle. And we combine the two spaces into the latent space. That's internal multimodal information, in this case, vision and the joint angles. Okay. Through the learning process, the robot system tried to minimize the prediction errors of the visual image, and the joint angles. So the left graph shows some sequence of the latent space. Before the the learning, joint, I suppose maybe joint is red, and the blue is the vision. It's separated. But during the learning process, to minimizing the prediction error, the vision and the joint angles are aligned. So therefore, after the learning, if we give the image, the robot system can imagine the movement of the joint angles. Or if you give the joint angle sequence, the robot system can imagine its own movement. So during the learning process, so the robot only observes its own movement. But actually, we give some visual image of the opponent side, the opponent robot, okay? So even though the visual image has a big difference, the prediction error very large, but the robot realizes its own movement. In this case, egocentric movement. So the opponent robot just reach the object, yellow cylinder, and pull the own side. So also the robot, the same thing. But as you can see, the visual image is quite different, but still the robot can realize this kind of things. So the mirror neuron is not limited to the action itself, but also the sensation too. If you observe someone be touched, so you may feel be touched. The sensation is also mirroring. So the pain too, pain sensation, so you can feel the pain of the others. That's some origin of the empathy. Okay, so this shows some huge image of the symbiotic society with the artificial agent, the robot, and so on. So now the ChatGPT is a big social impact, and you may wonder we can have such a kind of the utopia or not. Maybe we need some careful situations, careful care of the, how to treat the AI or the robots and so on. Anyhow, thank you for attention.